Number one comes to assist us in the place of prayer. And we were reminded about that last Monday. So when a helpmate comes, what they do is they help you in the area of prayer. Sometimes when you are alone, you may be defeated by fatigue, defeated by sleep and all that. But when you somebody who can, tell you, you guy, wake up, we need to pray. Or even if you're not praying together, but at least wherever they are, they're able to remember you in the place of prayer. So the aspect of helpmate has to do with prayer. It is good for partners to learn how to pray for one another. Remember, you're staying together, so you know the needs of one another. And when you share those needs together, it becomes very easy for you to be able to pray for one another. So God created Eve for Adam and Adam for Eve so that they can be able to pray together. They can have that fellowship together. Another area is provision. Provision. So a helpmate comes to assist in the area of provision. Now, basically, a man is the provider. And the man should do all that he can to make sure that he's providing for the family. Now, this is where the woman is coming into. The woman is coming in assisting this man to provide. But essentially, it is the man who is providing. And so the woman comes to assist the man in providing. Unless you're doing something, then you cannot be helped. Huwezi niambia ati nikuje nikusaidie na hakuna kitu nafanya. So mtu usaidiwa kwa sababu kuna kitu anafanya. Ukikuta ninafagia mahali, uniambia acha nikusaidie, utanisaidia kwa sababu kuna kitu umekuta nikifanya. And that's basically what marriage is all about when it comes to a helpmate. Now, a helpmate also anasaidia kwa njia nyingine gani? Encouragement. A helpmate is a source of encouragement. So, people who are in marriage should be encouraging one another every day. When you feel your partner is down and they are talking to you, probably it's a place of work. When they are in the place of work, wanasuburiwa na manager, wanasuburiwa na principal or head teacher or wherever it is they work with. When they come back home and they are sharing with you, now your responsibility is to encourage them. And some of us who are pastors, our partners, encourages us in ministry, keep on moving on. Because sometimes all of us, we become weary. All of us, we get to a place whereby we think this thing is not working out. And what we need at that point in time is somebody who can encourage us. So you can just imagine somebody who is living alone, probably has no neighbor, has no relationship with others, and then they don't receive encouragement. It becomes a very difficult, kind of situation. So encouragement. So a helpmate comes in the name of encouragement. Another thing, a helpmate comes in terms of comfort. Comforting you by being there for you, especially probably if you have lost a relative. It can even be a child that you've lost. They come in the place of comforting. They speak words that bring life to you. So the issue of a helpmate in terms of comfort is very important. So we need to get to that place of realizing that when God ordained marriage, God had a very good idea. Of course, along the path, then we'll be looking at that. Why then marriages are not working. Then we'll be able to see some of these things that are there. Because originally, you see, God ordained it so that it can come with this some of this aspect. Another way of a helpmate, another thing a helpmate comes in through is showing hospitality, by performing, housekeeping duties and such stuff. So housekeeping duties, you see, there's what we call responsibilities of a man and responsibilities of a woman. I know they say that what a man can do, a woman can do better, which in one way or the other may be true, because that's why marriage is there. We are coming to help others. So if a man can be able to wash utensils, then the woman can be able to do even better. So in performance of housekeeping duties is very important. But then there are certain things, men are struggling to do, but they just need a helpmate, somebody who can be able to help them. Si ya kwamba mwanaume hawezi osha nguo ama kufua, kuosha nyumba, chakula, kujipikia. Anaweza, lakini wewe hujai kutana na mwanaume akiwa amepika chakula wewe. Ndio utajua. Men mix everything. Some of us hata tungojangi kitunguu, tunachanganya kitunguu, unaweka mafuta, kama ni mboga unaiweka huko, kama ni nyama unaweka zote, nyanya unaweka zote. I mean, there are things men are not able to do basically. But you see, with a helpmate, they come in handy in assisting on, household and housekeeping duties, which is very important, and we need to do that. And so that is number 2 reason for marriage. Number 3 reason is to help in avoiding fornication, help in avoiding what you call promiscuity and immorality and all that. Now, 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 1, Paul writes and says, now concerning the things whereof you wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. You see the injunction there? It is good for a man not to touch a woman. It is good for a man not to touch a woman. It is good. Only on the day of wedding, where we remove that word not, and then it reads, it is good for a man to touch a woman. That's the only time you are permitted, and we allow you now to touch her. Now, so to avoid fornication. So one of the ways to assist in avoiding promiscuity, adultery and all that, and that does not mean simply because people are married, those things are not happening. They are happening, and that's why you're going to look at reasons as to why marriages are fading. But essentially from the beginning, God wanted to deal with this issue. So that when you have your own woman and your own man, then you don't have any reason to go looking for others and to go out there. Because what you can get out there has been brought home. So why are people going out? That's something that we need to discuss. And you see, one thing I've come to realize is only that people want to, to go sampling out there. And we always say this. The difference may be in the container, but not in the content. The content is the same. You man out there, that other woman you're looking for has got what your wife has. And if you're being, attracted to by another, make sure what you are seeing in that other, you can also be able to see it in your wife. And that's the best thing you can do as a woman and all, as a man and as a woman. And number 4, and the last one, even as we receive our guest today, is to have children. So one other biblical reason for marriage is to have children, what you call procreation. Procreation is what God ordained. In Malachi chapter 2 verse 15, the Bible is very clear that God ordained the two to come together so that we can be able to bring forth a holy seed for him. So procreation is part of biblical reason for marriage. God's desire that he blesses us who are in marriage with children. And most likely, if you're there and you're struggling with your marriage in the issue of having a child, don't you worry. The Lord is going to work it out. And in this show, we will not just only speak about these things. We are also be praying for people. If you're there and you've been struggling to have a child in your marriage, there is enough anointing and power to pray that God will bless you with children, because that is one of the biblical reasons for marriage. It does not mean a marriage that does not have children is not marriage. No, it's still a marriage, but children are a blessing according to Psalm 127. They are a reward from God, and it is the desire of God to bless you even in your marriage with children. Hallelujah. So those are some of the biblical reasons for marriage: to solve the problem of loneliness and aloneness, to bring a helpmate, to avoid fornication, and for God to bless us with children. Thank you so much. Now we want to take just a short break of 1 minute or less so that you can be able to receive our guest, and the Lord is going to bless us. So if you are there following us, please, you're on Enrichers Power Talks, Oasis of Love, Church Moya, and Motivi. Like, follow. If you have a question on matters to do with marriage, why marriage does not work, or any other question or comment, please make sure you're doing that so that we can be able to answer you even as we engage in this discussion. The Lord bless you even as we come back.
Do you realize that every time to change somebody's level, he allows some people to leave him? And the mistake we make most of the time is we begin to call them back. Where you are going demands that there are some people who will be dropped along the way. There is a far you cannot go until you have dropped some people. New levels require new associations. It's a demand on all of us. If God will ever take you to another level, that is something that must register in your mind, that you cannot go far when you are still hanging on people who are not going at the same destination or to the same destination as you. Because we can start together, but doesn't mean we will finish together. Do you realize that every time God wants to change somebody's level, he allows some people to leave him? And the mistake we make most of the time is we begin to call them back. Where you are going demands that there are some people who will be dropped along the way. There is a far you cannot go until you have
discussion in this next session. And my guest is already here, and we bless God for him. I know he had several errands to run in the morning, and ministry is becoming, we're becoming busy and every day, and we all need to do all that the Lord has called us to do. So I want to receive my guest this morning, even Reverend Carson, to say hi and tell us how your weekend was. Karibu sana.
Thank you so very much, sir. I'm happy to be back in this show again. I greet all the viewers wherever you are. And I know today we shall have a good moment. I've had a good weekend. The whole of last week, even as we prepare for the Mountain Conference. Our hearts are very, very much expectant.
Yeah.
I know that we shall experience a licentious innovation.
Amen.
Grace unlimited. Glory to God.
Thank you so much. Reverend is talking about Mount Up Conference that will be on 18th to 22nd this month in this church, this place, Oasis of Love Church. We are hosting even Apostle Richard Mayanja from Uganda. It is his first time to be in Kirinyaga, and we are so excited even to have him. And tell a friend to tell a friend that all of us can gather, and be blessed of the Lord through the anointing of this man that he has graced for our season. Reverend Karibu sana. We started a discussion last Monday on whether marriage is a scam, and we were able to deal with all those stuffs. Today when we started off, we were looking at the biblical reasons for marriage, and we were able to look at several of them. Now, our discussion today was why most of the marriages fail. So I want us to start there, Rev. We say that marriage is ordained of God, and it is not a man's idea, it is God's idea. So how comes that which has been started by God is failing? So is the failure on the side of God or on this other side of the ones who have been given, that money? Why are most marriages failing?
A very good question. I will answer that question by declaring that God is infallible. He has no error. God has not made a mistake. So the failure of any marriage cannot be attributed to God. Let me say this. Nothing works until somebody works. So marriage cannot work if the people in it are not willing to work, to sacrifice, and to actually make it work. It can't work until people are willing to work. So reason number one why marriages are not working is because people are not working on their marriages.
They're not willing to work on.
They are not. There's nothing that just grow naturally. No. Kehikoti maitika mawaru. Whereby zinachipuka zenyewe na zinakuwa zenyewe, no irrigation, nothing. Then you can go thereafter and you can just harvest. Marriage is not like that. The way you build a relationship, and you went through what I can call maybe like the 6 stages of a relationship. One of them being contact. Number 2, conversation. Number 3, conflict. Number 4, commitment. Until you come to a place of a covenant. the same thing must continue even in marriage.
Probably, Rev, before you continue, there's somebody probably amepitwa na hiyo umesema the seas. Probably you can just say them slowly. Somebody at least they can capture that.
Now,
because that's what they will need later, even after they get married, right?
Yes.
Yes.
You cannot outgrow this. Number one is a contact.
Contact.
Now, contact is whereby I met with you. I saw you somewhere. We met in a wedding, and from there I got attracted to you. Like when I met my wife first, I was very new in a certain church. Then it was said there will be a presentation for the youths. And amongst all the youths that were dancing and praising the Lord, zealous for God, my eyes was fixed. I was able to zoom.
That's a during presentation.
Yes. I'm just seated because we mean Mugeni, so I'm not joining the youths. I'll be joining them later. But I was able to zoom and pick her out of many. So that's a contact. From there, we are able now to frequently, I would see and locate her. And you see, the person you are interested in. Let me say this, man of God. Now, people don't meet. It is their purpose that makes them meet. So there's a contact. From the contact, and you get attracted, a conversation, the communication. You start communicating now. You can talk, you can call, you look for the number, and all that. So the second level stage of building a relationship is communication or conversation. And it must be kept alive all along in the marriage. Though I'll speak about later, let me just now put it as a communication is the next stage. Now, from there, we go to the next level. The next level is commitment. From the level of communication, you start feeling like, you know what, I can commit to this person. You get committed, you can go for dinner, you can take off it together, and it's like this is a person I can start now quoting. We graduate from dating to quoting. Because now dating is where we just go for coffee, for fun and all that. But when you're now like committed, this is a person I want to settle with for life in marriage. Now you are committed to one person. When you are committed to somebody, the next stage that you'll find yourself in is a stage called conflict. So there is no commitment that does not allow conflict. One of the things I do when people come to my office as a pastor and tell me, you know what, pastor, this is a girl I want to marry, this is the young man who want to marry me, and all this. One of the things I will ask them, have you ever had any quarrel? Have you ever differed? I have many say, Daddy, we love one another.
Just moving cool.
We are moving. God is giving us grace. When I hear that, I know I can even extend and give you a very far date of your wedding. I will not agree with you that you have never had a difference. Because if you have never differed in courtship, you shall differ in marriage. If you are not able to solve your own conflict during courtship, you end up divorcing in marriage.
To be a catastrophe in marriage.
Yes. And many divorces you face today is not because the devil was very bad, because he has never changed his intensity of being bad. He's a bad devil. It's because of conflict. So conflict is another way. It's another stage number. I think number 4. It's number 4. Now, number 5, when you are able to solve the conflict now, you come to the last stage called the stage of covenant. And that's when people come to church. They bring the parents together. They can now say, I am able to commit. And they're even led to vows. Either way, is it civil marriage? Is it traditional marriage? Whatever it may be, you discover there's that place of covenant. Now, covenant is, I will now live with you for life. All these are stages of a relationship. When you come to marriage now, one of the number one reason why many marriages fail is because people outgrow these things. You are no longer in contact. You are no longer in communication. You are no longer committed. You no longer solve conflicts. And so the covenant cannot be. So at the end of the day, that marriage cannot stand. These are the foundations of which every marriage and every relationship must be built. And now, how you meet must be kept. Very, very important. So number one, reason why many marriages are not working is because the people engaged, the spouses, the partners are not working. That's number one. Number two, I would say, is unrealistic expectations. Unrealistic.
Yeah.
So people have expectations that can only happen, can only be realized in another planet, not Earth. You are looking at your wife and you are expecting so much beyond what she can supply. And that's why you discover, if you are not careful, you will even go and seek whether there is another person who can feed you with your expectation because you are not seeing it in this marriage. Okay? You got married thinking you are married somebody who shall make you happy always. From January to December, it shall be Christmas. That thing is not there. It does not work. It does not exist. It can only work in a movie. But in the real life, it does not work. At a certain time, let me put it this way. Every time in every serious, genuine marriage, there is something you are solving. There's something you are solving. So, unrealistic expectation. You expected, I'll be taking you out to Mombasa every month. I'll be taking you for dinner every other time. How if, when you are hit with a financial crisis, what will I do? You just start becoming dissatisfied. And if you're not careful, you shall look for a person who can afford that.
Yeah.
So unrealistic expectation is some of the things that are killing today's marriage.
And do you think, even as you proceed with the next point, probably just a follow-up question, do you think on that area of unrealistic expectation also is coming in through comparison? Like nimeenda kwa best yangu fulani, nikaona vile wanaishi na vile wanakaa, so when I come, naeka my partner pressure.
That's very true. And it is even begin before. More so for it is. They expect too much from guys. They expect too much from their husbands. More so in terms of finances. Even before we start comparing with others, there is that attitude we wear with us that I am a receiver. So you demand, I supply. So for example, in the very, very beginning of your relationship, you are looking for somebody who is financially stable. Okay? Financially stable.
Yeah.
Let me just pick that one only. Now, financially stable is a very good attribute to look at. But the question is, are you financially stable? The one who is demanding that I be financially stable, are you financially stable? You want me to be driving a good car. What kind of a car are you driving yourself?
They are saying the man should be a provider. So when ndio unafaa kuwa na hiyo standard.
Listen, man of God. Between the helper and the one being helped, who should be strong? Why are you coming to help me? It's because God identifies some weaknesses. So you don't bring your weaknesses to a person who is already weak. Ulikuja kunisaidia kwa sababu Mungu aliona ya kwamba mimi ni weak, nataka kusaidiwa. The day women will understand their strength, they will change their attitude. One of the greatest, the strongest creature God ever created is not an elephant, is not a dinosaur, is not a man, is a woman. If a woman targets something, only God or the devil can stop him. Can stop her, sorry. Look at this way. 5 kings sitting down with their army, with battalions, with the machineries, with guns, with all the weapons of war, were not able to bring down one guy called Samson. But somebody told them, this guy will be stubborn to any weapon you bring on board. until the day you bring a woman. When the woman came, history tells us, and the Bible tells us, Samson was brought through.
Our elder brother.
Not
Kamalizwa.
Nobody is strong
Yeah.
in the hands of a woman. So a woman is a very strong. You know, in the days of Deborah, there was a stubborn king, I think Sisera. Nobody could bring Sisera down. Until the Bible says, until I, Deborah, arose, a woman. A woman.
And in fact, the captain, Sisera, the captain of king of Jabin, was killed by a woman called Jael. Na
Jael.
alidungwa, alipewa maziwa, akakunya maziwa, akarara, akadungwa.
Listen,
Maziwa.
it's only the 21st century women who want to magnify weakness. They want to market weakness. They want to show how weak they are. I wish every woman and every other person will appreciate that they are not weak, they are strong. So as long as we have expectations, I'm not calling men to be lazy.
Yeah.
No. What I'm saying, let us not have unrealistic expectation. You are bringing in a wife in your house. You want this woman to do all things. Okay? This woman will cook. This woman will wash, take care of the children, and still you want her to support you in setting some bills. So wherever you just come and sit down. So this woman is still human. So you are having unrealistic expectation.
Yeah.
At times they are sick, they are feeling, they have emotions. So this woman may feel like she's a slave. And every slave is looking for a door of exit. Men, let us not turn our wives as slaves. If that be the case, they will be forever looking for a door of exit. Because every slave is looking for a day whereby they shall gain their freedom. Either by being released or by walking away. So that's a very key thing. Every marriage should be a place whereby you are enjoying it, not enduring it. So unrealistic expectation is a very key element that is killing marriages today. Number two, if I would say, is the external influence.
Number three.
Number three now.
Yeah, external
influences.
influence.
Marriage is between two people. It is between a woman and a man that have made a commitment to stick together. Anytime somebody is elevated above maybe another woman or another man, either a relative, a mother, or whoever it is, if I elevate anybody above my wife, if my wife will elevate anybody, honor anybody above me, that is a shortcut to the downfall of that marriage. And there are so many people who have lost their marriage because of relatives, the in-laws. You need to understand the place of every person in marriage. The key people is the wife and the husband.
Not even the children.
Not even the children. Right now, by the grace of God, we are just the two of us, me and my wife. There's a level in marriage we call empty nest level.
Yeah.
Emptiness is whereby the children have gone away. So you begin the way you started. Okay, you stay.
Yeah, munabaki mkiwa vile
Mkiwa
mlianza.
wawili. Now, if you allow children to separate you, if you allow the in-laws to interfere with you, what will happen when they are gone?
Utapata shida.
Mtapata shida. You become like two strangers in the house. You are trying to do like a courtship again. So external interference. The mother-in-laws are very good. Sister-in-laws are very good. But you also need to know their place. There's a method I introduced to myself, what I call the long spoon kind of assistance. You may be my sister. You may be my brother. If I bring you in my house, we live with you. We have what we can call blood relation. Chances are, me and my wife, we shall never solve anything. Because we may not be having the advantage of a big house, whereby we can quarrel without you hearing. when you have a relative in our house, chances are we shall have so many things we are sweeping under the carpet. So we have so many things that are not solved because of the people who have brought in our lives. The long spoon method is whereby I can scoop some food, and because the spoon, the handle of the spoon is very long, I can feed you from the village. I have no problem with the relatives living with us. But you want to understand at what stage are they coming? They should not come in when the marriage is very young.
And even when they are coming, there should be an agreement between the couple on hosting this person, and also for how long?
For how long?
Yeah.
Until when? And what is our role in your life? What are you coming to do?
Yeah.
What's the reason behind it? We agree. Is there any other alternative? Can we solve without you necessarily coming? All these questions must be there.
Yeah.
So that you may not bring in people who shall come and sabotage what you're trying to build.
So, Rev, you agree, as you come to the next point, so you agree that when the Bible says, and a man shall live and cleave, this bit of living here has also to do with all those things.
Now, that's a very good element you're bringing on board, though I thought we can bring it, but we can use it now. And when I speak about external interference, it's not just from relatives, even from friends. There are so many people who are so much attached to their friends, even the friends who were their friends before getting to marriage. But they are still so much clinging. They are so much still attached until they can sacrifice their marriage to please another person who is external. So the external interference is not just only about relatives.
Yeah.
It's even friends. Others is even your boss. Others
Your
even
work.
your colleague, a job, or even your church. I've seen so many people who honor their pastor so much, but they don't honor their husbands.
Is that in order?
Out of order. If I learn you don't honor your husband, you have no business honoring me.
Like they come very early in the office to cook tea for you and some snack for you, but they left their husband at home or their partner at home without taking care of them.
If I learn that your husband is starving, that he may serve and feed the pastor who has a wife. The pastor who has a wife. First things first. Because honoring the man of God is not a substitute of honoring your husband and honoring your wife. It is not just about women. There are even so many men who are so much attached into church until they have neglected their family. What we need is a balance. Back to your point, sir.
Yes.
When God said, a man shall live, shall cleave, and shall become one flesh. Now, what is happening now? People have jumped or absconded, living and cleaving. They have jumped to becoming one flesh. Because one flesh speaks about becoming intimate. So the major thing is about becoming intimate. But being intimate is the last thing, is a climax, is a byproduct
Of all these other
of all the others. Now, what does it mean living? Because I think we need to be categorical. One, we need what we can call physical living. Living must first of all be physical. You know, I tell people, you can't marry a wife in the house of your mother. No, it's not possible. And if it is possible, it's not workable. It cannot last long. Because you are just creating trouble between your wife and your mother.
So wale vijana wanakaa na wazazi na wanaoa tu akiwa kwa hiyo nyumba, it's out of order.
They are not qualified to be in marriage. They are still mommy's boy. Because every man has two women that are so dear to them. And you cannot put two dear women to you very close and in the same compound. They will fight. The first woman in every man is the mother. Is the mother. And many men have sacrificed their wife
Because of their mother.
because of their mother. Now, but who is your wife now? Let them be separate. So the first living must be physical living. Very clear.
Physical, literally, like
Literally.
you move out.
Yes.
It simply means that.
Let your wife be visiting your mother, not meeting every morning. Even when you have quarreled in the night, the mother is aware. Anaona venye umekuja uso na venye umechapika, it's like something is not happening. Then you are not very careful, you open up. We are hatusikizani. Your mother shall never side with your wife. Your mother will always side with you.
Of course, yeah.
Okay? So physical living, very, very key.
Yeah.
Number 2 is what you can call emotional living. There are some people who are so much attached emotionally to other people. Even when they are coming to their wives, they are still so much emotionally attached until they are not able so much to cling to their wife emotionally, because there are other people who are so much attached to them emotionally. There must be some emotional living whereby you can be sad about other people, but you're so much moved when something happens to your wife. You discover somebody can learn very quickly when another person is sick, other somebody is in a crisis, but when your wife is sick or your husband is sick or something, you can take a whole day. You can even explain, enda kwa chemist, sijui ununue Metakelvin, ununue sijui Panadol na Painkiller, but another person will call. You'll even drive kama ambulance.
Yeah.
Why? Because of the emotional attachment. So there's emotional living. And that marriage cannot be good well. There cannot be good attachment without emotional living. Number 3 is financial living. Many people, either men or women, before their marriage, they are having what I can call financial obligations.
Yeah, to the either parents
To their
and
parents,
immediate family.
to their siblings and all
Yeah.
that. Then you are coming in. Number 1, you may not stop helping the people that are depending on you, but it must be put plain. You must declare the responsibilities so that you may agree in the beginning. Because every person sends help home, which is very, very key. But you also need to let everybody know, now I'm not as independent as I was before, because I have a family now to bring up. Right now, I tell people, and I'm not becoming disrespectful to our parents. Today I'm grown. My mother has brought up, our parents have brought me up. Now my son is very small. If I direct and all the resources back to the village,
There will be a problem.
this boy who is growing, where will I take him? So we must also know we require financial living. Very, very important. We cannot we cannot disconnect.
So there should be a communication between the two parties. Okay, the partners must communicate with one another. Financial obligations that should come before, and then also communicate with the ones you are obligated to, that there will be changes here and there. That's exactly what you mean.
Openness.
Yeah.
There must be openness. But I know we shall be touching it maybe later.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing now, we speak about living. Now, craving now is another thing. Craving is like a holding together. Holding together. And holding together is about all seasons. Because seasons are not the same. You discover in marriage there are good seasons, there are bad seasons. There are high seasons, there are low seasons. A man shall live and crave. When the living and the craving is done well, then the becoming one fresh become easy.
Okay.
But when you come to becoming one fresh, you are forcing things. You are forcing things. I must feel like I'm emotionally attached. I must know that, know what, you are not attached to another person more than me. Then I will give you anything. Because now this one becomes about, okay, I'll handle that one maybe in the next point. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. I think we are going on well. I want to believe you're still following us up. Let me just acknowledge a few who are following us on the Enrichas Power Talks. I have Rudia Wairimu. She's saying she's following up. I have Grace Nzioka is following up. God bless you so much, even for taking your time to follow us up. Let me acknowledge some others here who are also following us up. I'm sure you're receiving knowledge and wisdom and understanding. And if you're already in marriage, you're able to know where things have not been working out, and you can be able to work them out. So, and several others here I can see who are following us up. I'm so happy. So continue commenting. Continue. If there's a question, you can ask. And I know the Lord is going to continue to bless us, even as we almost come to a close for today. So, Rev has spoken about several reasons why most of the marriages fail, and I believe you're taking note of that. But then let me tell you, you don't have to struggle the next time you'll be invited in a couple seminar. These are some of the things. There's no, hakuna vitu zingine unaweza ongea, ni hizi tu. So ni vizuri usikize na take note. Hazina copyright, wewe ukienda mahali enda tu useme vile tulisema, and it will be well, so that we can establish marriages that are strong. And the church will also be strong, and the nation will be strong. So, Rev, to continue, what other reason do you think is a cause of failure in most marriages? By the way, does it only apply to secular marriages?
Marriage is marriage. I think
marriage is marriage.
It
doesn't matter.
The principles that governs marriage are universal.
Either ni customary, ni kuandisia, ama ni ya church.
Anywhere. These principles we are giving,
they're universal.
They're universal. You apply them in the work.
Okay.
The other reason I think we are having so many marriages break today is what we can call opaqueness. Opaqueness in marriage.
That reminds us about the general election. Opaque. Opaqueness.
When I speak about opaqueness, I'm mostly speaking about lack of openness, lack of transparency.
Yeah.
There are so many untold truths by the couple. For a marriage to work, for me to trust you for life and with my life, there are certain things that I must be knowing about you. So a couple starts a marriage without opening up their life to one another. And that one now becomes a problem for them going forward. And there are these areas, maybe I can mention 2 or 3.
Yeah, you should, yeah.
That we need to speak about. We must be very, very clear about our past relationships. Everybody should be able to speak of our past relationships, our past breakups, our past disappointments. They are very, very important. Because many people, including I think you, and I also me, we have what can call maybe our ex, if there's anything like that. The people we were courting, we befriended, we were dating, but we never married them. And they are alive. So chances are, at a certain time, we'll meet them.
Yeah. How
do you relate to them? We must speak about where am I coming from? Why do you think that relationship broke? Why didn't it work? And if you are genuine, make it plain. Make it plain. I will know how to behave.
Yeah.
I will know how to handle you. So number 2 is financial transparency.
Sasa Rev, hapo kwa openness about the past relationships and exes, it's to what extent? Really nisichome pia.
Now, I said last time that marriage is about trust, commitment, and love. Love has no hypocrisy.
Yeah.
You must love people on the basis of truth. Any truth that is hidden will one day come to the service. At times you are not able. I've seen people who were in a certain relationship that had children. And then they never spoke about it. At the end of the day, When you're married, 2-3 years, you're doing your 5th anniversary, you see a boy who is like a photocopy of your husband.
Now, just some of us, we cannot hide.
And it's like, yeah.
Original.
And you start wondering, what is happening? What is happening? If this lady will realize that you are in the relationship, na kulikuwa na mtoto, na haukuniambia, what will happen? From that time, I will start doubting there must be others that you have not told me. And that marriage, inaweza anza kuvuta maji hapo until the day of this breakage. If you are loving me, if I'm loving you, let me know all the attachments, all the usionyeshe kichwa peke yake, bogi nionyeshe makobe mothe ma mugithi ndukanyone mokiongokea mugithi. Let me see uko na watu wangapi kwa maisha yako. You may think it shall work against you. It is good the relation to be built and the marriage to be built on the truth than on a lie. If the foundation is long, it doesn't matter how beautiful the coloring or the painting shall be. And one day it will come sinking.
The truth will be known eventually. And it will do more damage.
Yes. If you are like a lady, speak about your child. Don't hide your child in the village. Until one day we go to the village and I wonder, like, I hear you be called mom. And I wonder, mom, kwani kamekosea? You cannot hide it forever. So be clear. If I'm loving you, I will love you with your children. If I'm not able to love your children, leave me alone.
It should be as clear as that.
Yes.
Still on that point, Reve. Sasa kuna mtu nimeona ameuliza, what if along the way you made a mistake and then you got pregnant and did an abortion and all that? Should I also talk about that? What about kikiniramba sasa niachwe?
Let me put it this way. It is not every truth. You remember last time we spoke about a few things. And we shall handle them during communication. Because the truth is, that one happened. That one happened. And that is your past. There's a lady who I had got married. That lady had done so many abortions until she could not even conceive again. So many, until she had a damaged uterus. Later she got born again. She got born again. And she told the husband, personally before I met the Lord, this was my lifestyle.
Yeah.
But the young man was so much attached in love. Then he told the lady, we shall get married and believe God. They got married. Year 1, year 2, year 3, no child. And this young man is so much patient with the wife. Why? Because I know, and I knew from the beginning. In the course of believing God, the lady conceived.
Not a miracle.
I'm able to bring in my faith. I'm able to give you all my prayers. I'll give another story. I have this one from a man of God. A woman who was a prostitute for many years.
Yeah.
Let alone, she was conducting abortion. One day she said, instead of this abortion, let me do some surgery. I'll do it with my uterus. So the uterus was literally removed. And she became born again later, very committed. And she said, because nobody can marry me, I will now commit to God. And she was serving, even in church. She happened to become one of the women in the hospitality, serving the senior guest of that church. As any guest came visiting the church, and she had a contact. He was attracted to the lady. And he told his host, I'm attracted to your daughter. What is her status? This lady is single. So the guest said, can I propose to her? Would you give me your blessing? I said, go ahead, sir. Go ahead. The first thing they told the preacher, as for me, I cannot even conceive or give you children because this was my life. The preacher told the lady, I was not looking for a children producing machine. I was looking for a wife I can love and build a marriage. And you know what? They got married. 3 years later, I don't know, I think 3 years or how long later, the lady was pregnant.
So miracles still happen.
You know, when people say miracles no longer there, are no longer there, miracles are happening. Why was this man of God able to believe God concerning the condition of the wife? Because of the transparency.
Yeah, truth was laid on the table.
Yeah. There are so many marriages that are built on lies. And where there's a lie, there's no freedom. So you're living in fear. Na akijua. Listen, one day I pray ajue. I just pray one day ajue. Na atajua. Atajua too.
We are in a very small world.
Yeah. You're in a village now.
Yeah.
There's no secret today. Finally shall be known. But before then, we need to be very transparent.
Yeah.
So there's a way you can communicate it. Just noting that being single is not a disease. Neither is it a weakness.
Yeah.
So let me not jeopardize and risk your life for the sake of like I start kuwa single tena. Yeah.
Okay.
So one area is your past relationship.
Your past relationship. So
Number two,
probably can give us one more and then we come to a close. Yeah.
Number two is in the area of maybe let me call it financial openness. There are so many people who cannot tell their net worth, their salary of their spouses, how many properties are there, and you are just getting an advantage in case. Let me say this, sir.
Yes.
And I believe that the viewer will take me very, very serious. The other day I heard the government announce so many unclaimed assets. So many. Until the government of Kenya established a commission to deal with unclaimed assets. Shares, M-Pesa money. You know, there are some
bank deposits.
So much. And many of these assets are from husbands who never disclosed to their wives, to their children, who they own. After some time, every unclaimed asset is possessed by the state. Na inaenda kujenga nyumba, inaenda kujenga no affordable houses, na barabara.
Na labda familia yako inaachwa
inataseka.
Yeah.
Why don't you speak about if kama hukuoa mwizi, if you never married a thief, because it depends who you married. We must come to a place whereby we lay things on the table. If the marriage is founded on the truth, if the marriage is founded on honesty, love, trust, and commitment, we need financial transparency. I have seen many men who are sinking in debts because their wives have never known what they can afford. If the wife say, now buy me a car, you cannot say you can't afford. You go and borrow, you give a car, and you just celebrate, and everybody's like, you know what, my babe bought me a car, and another woman is even giving trouble to their husband. And as this husband has never told the wife, I can't afford it.
For now
I cannot afford it. So people are living beyond their means. Why? Because of lack of financial responsibility. We must be very, very clear. What I cannot afford now, I can't afford. If you are not just coming to milk me, now be ready for truth. So financial transparency is very, very key. Every family should live within their means. Let the wife say their value, their worth. Let the husband say their worth. If the commitment is for life, We don't need secrets. Basically, we don't need secrets. Let me mention something small.
Yeah.
I've seen families that is like, even after knowing that, I'll say this, I will maybe give details in another forum, given chance by the man of God. Unless your money marries, your marriage shall forever be at risk. Until the day my money and my wife's money will do a marriage, will do a wedding, and they become one, that marriage will forever have a problem.
That includes even if the wife is earning more than the husband?
Now, the question is, let me give myself. In my family, in my house, we don't have anybody's money. We don't. There may be money that is coming through the channels of my wife. There is money that is coming through the channels of my husband. Or all these of the husband.
Yeah.
Do you know why, sir? There are so many people, many husbands that are praying that one day their wife will lose their job. Because of the kind of harassment and the kind of humiliation they have been going through because of their wives. There are so many wives I know who desire that one day so that my meager salary, my meager earning may make sense to him. Okay? When one shall come down, if you mishandled me when you were up financially, when I will go up,
I will show you darkness.
I will show you darkness. Darkness and dust. So there's a lot of revenge in this area. You may be earning 1 million in a day. Then tomorrow you lose your job, you lose your benefit, unashikwa na kiskado, unawekelewa, accusation, you lose everything. Where do you go? You go to the wife who only milk a cow. What will happen that day?
Atakufinya.
So the thing is, let us not put money between us. Money is not the most important thing. We can be very rich and not enjoy marriage. We can be average and not enjoy marriage. We can be poor and not enjoy marriage. Marriage is not about things. It's about people and their commitment.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Reverend Carson, even Bishop-elect. I'm so happy to have you. We must be coming to a close because of time. What an exciting discussion we are having here this morning. It's only that time is not on our side and we need to come to a close. But just like we've been saying, we are here every Monday morning from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. In fact, we added some 30 minutes through the demand of some of our followers here. And I believe that we were getting some wisdom. I see Maggie Kihara listening to you, servants of God. Thank you so much. Doreen Kenywa, Wisdom My Purpose. Mary Kamotho following. Bernard Nando following. Masharia wa Jesu tuned. And Doreen Kenywa is saying marriage is about people, not money. Yeah, you got that right. And we are grateful for having this conversation. We have discussed several things on why most marriages fail. And I know we'll have a part 2 of the same. We'll continue with the same and discuss on that area of why most of the marriages are failing. And I know it will be a blessed time. I want to give Reverend an opportunity to give his parting shot so that we can come to a close today. And the Lord will bless us. Phyllis Wawero, yeah, you're tuned. I can see you. God bless you so much. I believe you're receiving us loud and clear on that other side of Mukindori. God bless you so much. Yes, Rev.
Maybe just to give a counsel for this week. As we move out, let us just believe that God shall make it work for us. Those who are believing God for marriage, now look and readjust your standards. Many of you, an opportunity come, but your set standard cannot allow you. Some of you, that are watching, you are beautiful, you are marriageable, but you have set a limit on yourself. Be flexible. Those in marriage, if you complain about your husband, if you're complaining about your wife, listen, people don't change. It is you that change. You may pray until Jesus comes, that God change my husband, God change my wife. Before you expect others to change, change first. If you change, you discover you are compatible. You say, my husband does not understand me, my wife does not understand me. Before you seek to be understood, understand. If you begin with yourself, the other party will align, and then you shall be able to walk together. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Carson, and all of our followers. I'm seeing Sami Kilubi saying we are here to miss you. God bless you so much. We are coming to a close. This is Contend Show, your morning breakfast show. Every Monday we are here from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. and I'm always your host, Pastor Davis Moroki. I'm so excited to have had a conversation with you, and especially with my guest here. Thank you for following us up. Thank you for your comments and sharing this conversation. We'll keep on keeping it until we destroy this notion that marriage is a scam. Marriage is not a scam. We only need to look at reasons as to why they are failing and work out those reasons so that we can have because when you have strong families, we shall have a strong church. When you have strong churches, then you shall have a strong nation. And the Lord God Almighty is going to bless us. It's just like the counsel that has been given by our Reverend here. Consider yourself first. Work on yourself first before you work on your partner. And when you're able to do that, then things are going to work out for ourselves and our marriages. Until we meet again next week, same place, same time. What a show, what a host, and what a place. God bless you. And let's meet next week, Monday.